Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of We love to talk about exciting subjects in science, medicine, robotics, astronomy, futuristic ideas, music, or anything interesting in the news. So let's get into it. Did you know in the news, Musk's Twitter may have already violated its latest FTC consent order? Now, just 2 weeks into Elon Musk's ownership of Twitter, the company may have already violated its consent agreement with the Federal Trade Commission. If proven, the violation could ultimately lead to a significant personal liability for Musk, escalating the risks he faces as he stumbles through the morass of business and content moderation headaches, most of which have been self-inflicted. The potential violation stems from a reporting obligation Twitter must fulfill whenever the company experiences a change in structure, including mergers and sales. Under Twitter's latest FTC consent order, which was implemented this year, Twitter must submit a sworn compliance notice to the regulator within 14 days of any such change. The compliance notice is intended for both to advise the FTC of major changes at the company as well as a commitment to it will continue to comply with the order, according to David Valadek, a former senior FTC official and law professor at Georgetown University. Musk's Twitter deal closed on Thursday, October 22nd, prompting some legal experts to question whether Twitter had made the proper filings in light of the company's mass layoffs and an exodus of senior executives. Among those resigning were the chief privacy officer and chief information security officer, who would be expected to be involved in the company's compliance reporting. Godspeed to those poor bastards dealing with that, tweeted Rihanna Pfefferkorn, a research scholar at the Stanford of Internet Observatory. The FTC declined to comment on whether Twitter had submitted any compliance notices since Musk took over the company. Twitter, which laid off a substantial amount of public relations teams, didn't immediately respond to a request for a comment. Alice Superior, Musk's attorney, told CNN on Thursday that we are continuing a dialogue with the FTC and will work closely with the agency to ensure we are in compliance. There are other more substantive regulator obligations that have come into question too. They include requirements that Twitter produce written privacy assessments with any new product, service, or practice, or when Twitter updates those things that could affect user data or put it at risk. The dizziness pace of the product changes at Twitter since Musk's takeover, combined with the company's greatly reduced headcount, has raised doubts whether Twitter is following the rules it agreed to or if it can. The chaos there is something the FTC is going to be worried about, said Valadek, because there were serious deficiencies which led to the consent order in the first place, and the FTC is going to want to make sure they are doing what they are supposed to do. Internal concerns about Twitter's compliance obligations were reflected in a slight message viewed by CNN earlier this week, in which an employee warned colleagues that Musk could try to put responsibilities for certifying FTC compliance onto individual engineers at the company. This would put a huge amount of personal, professional, and legal risk onto engineers. The employee wrote, adding that the new risks created by Musk could be extremely detrimental to Twitter's longevity as a platform. Matt Blaze, a professional of computer science and law at Georgetown University, urged Twitter employees to seek professional legal counsel before signing anything or making any statement to regulators. This is a bus you do not want to be thrown under, Blaze tweeted. FTC consent orders carries to force the law. Any violations, if proven, could involve significant penalties, including fines, restriction on how Twitter can run its business, and even potential sanctions on individual executives. The company's latest consent agreement was announced this spring after FTC allegations that Twitter misused user account security information, such as phone numbers and email addresses, for advertising purposes. The result consent order expanded on 2011 consent agreement Twitter signed with the FTC, committing that companies to maintaining a robust security program. This summer, Twitter's former head security, Peter Zatko, claimed that Twitter was not meeting those obligations in an explosive whistleblower disclosure, first reported by CNN and The Washington Post. Twitter has previously pushed back on Zatko's allegations, saying that security and privacy have long been top company-wide priorities. Those claims, which predate Musk's ownership, may have already put Twitter on the hook for billions of dollars in potential FTC fines, legal experts have said. Now, the latest claims of Twitter violations could mean even more money is at stake, as well as the possible individual liability for Musk himself. Any alleged violations would first have been proven, and the FTC would need to decide whether to enforce said validate. But now, under those circumstances, he said, I think it is likely Musk would be named in the future consent order. After all, he has made clear that he and he alone is making key decisions. The FTC has increasingly signaled it could seek to hold individual executives personally accountable if they are found to have been responsible for the company's violation, naming them in future orders and imposing binding requirements on their future conduct, even if they leave the company. Foreshadowing such a move, FTC Chair Lina Khan told U.S. lawmakers that Twitter's former CEO, Parag Agrawal, if I said that correctly, I'm sorry if I didn't, could absolutely be held personally liable in connection with Zatko's allegations if proven accurate. The FTC has confirmed whether it is investigating Zatko's allegation, but on Thursday it issued a rare statement saying that the agency is watching the current situation closely as news about the executive departures unfolded. The agency stated it is tracking recent developments at Twitter with deep concern. No CEO or company is above the law, and companies must follow our consent decrees, the FTC stated. Our revised consent orders gives us the tools to ensure compliance, and we are prepared to use them. So let me know what you think about this story, guys. Leave a comment, like and subscribe. Let me know. Until then, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again next time.